1, 2, 3, 4. Those are numbers, but you already knew that. If you want to know what number you're going to pay each month for your car, use Kelley Blue Book My Wallet on AutoTrader. They're really good at numbers. AutoTrader.
This episode is brought to you by Tinder. Cuffing season is in full effect, which makes Tinder the place to be right now. There's a new wave of folks coming back to the app, ready to find love, fun, or just a new friend. And if you're worried about never meeting up with your matches IRL, don't be. 1.5 million Tinder users go on dates in person every week. Explore all of the possibilities for yourself. Tinder. It starts with a swipe. Download Tinder today.
Come on, Dave. You can do this.
Come on, Dave.
You can do this. Hello, and welcome to Friday's edition of Unequal Sequel
Extra. I love your hello then, Dave. It was like, hello.
Well, you see, I'm trying to, I'm about to say jazz myself up for this.
Please do not do that. And that's not something I want to see.
It's been a long couple of days. I'm lacking in energy. Rich has got another cold.
I'm just a cold machine. It would seem like all the cold viruses are just attracted to me.
So this is going to go absolutely swimmingly.
Yeah.
How are you, Rich? Apart from being sick,
apart from having a bit of a cold, I'm feeling all right. I am actually feeling a lot better than I did this time yesterday.
Oh.
So I completely lost my voice yesterday. So I was doing proper talking like this. So I wouldn't have been able to record yesterday. But
thank
I'm all right.
God, we didn't have anything organised.
Yeah. I'm back in the game.
And with your time off, you decided to watch the film we're about to try and review.
I watched quite a few films.
Go on, let's start with the positive ones before we got on to what we're doing.
Okay, so the positive ones. What have I watched that I could be positive about? Because none of them have been particularly great, I would say.
Okay, what other bad ones have you watched?
So I watched a film on Now because I'm a sucker for weird British movies. So I like to find weird British movies.
Yeah.
So I watched one called Long Story Short, which has Rafe Spall in it. It's not great. In fact, it's very far from great. I watched Red Notice.
Oh, yeah.
Which, despite being awful, I kind of sort of enjoyed because I wasn't in the mood for anything that I had to think about.
Yeah.
I've started watching the Snyder Cut of Justice League.
Finally.
I'm about an hour in and baffled. I genuinely thought my TV was broken for a minute because it's in 4:3.
Yeah, it does that.
So I was very confused. And I also watched, which I tried to watch with my son and he gave up after 20 minutes, Home Sweet Home Alone.
Sweet Jesus.
Yeah. And that is what we're doing, what we are reviewing on this episode.
Because it turns out it's a sequel of sorts again.
I heard it was a remake.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a remake. It's definitely a sequel because it has reoccurring character and it carries on the story. Essentially, you know, the story of Kevin McAllister happened in this world.
Yeah.
They confirm it in the movie.
If we can review Marvel franchise films, and we do, then we can definitely review this.
Yeah, this is more of a sequel than Shang-Chi, and definitely more of a sequel than Eternals. So I think it definitely counts.
Okay, cool. Let's get this going then. I'm going to ask you the first question. Is the storyline. Let's put it out there.
I mean, the storyline is very similar to the original Home Alone movie. A rich kid gets left on his own by his parents, and two people are trying to break into his house. He then does some hilariously violent stuff to stop them breaking in. However, the twist on this movie is the two people trying to break into his house aren't bandits. They're actually quite nice people. and they think he's stolen a doll from their house, which they found out is worth $200,000. They're in loads of debt because the husband's lost his job, and they desperately want to keep their house. So they are trying to break into the house to get the doll back. They don't realise he's home alone. They are just trying to get in. They think his grandma's there. And yeah, they're just trying to get in and get the doll back.
And then hijinks.
And then, well, mediumly hijinks.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you your history with the Home Alone franchise. It's probably pretty much the same as mine. Have you watched all of them now?
No, I've only seen the first two.
Okay, good.
I didn't know there were others. I didn't know others existed, if I'm perfectly honest. I only knew there were two. So, yeah. So that's my history with it. However, and I have revisited it recently because my son absolutely adores them both. He loves Home Alone and he loves Home Alone 2. He squeals with laughter all the way through. He finds them absolutely hilarious.
It's because they are. They're brilliant.
They are. They're really funny. And he lasted 20 minutes in this film and then said, I don't like it, I'm going to do something else.
Well, I can't blame him. Yeah, there's Home Alone 1, 2, I think there's a 3 and a 4, and then there's also Home Alone Holiday Heist, something like that. I've watched the first two. Well, every year of my life, I think. Third one I have watched at some point, and it was rubbish. Fourth one, I knew it existed and never watched. And I didn't know there was one called Holiday Heist until they turned up on Disney the other day. And I was well confused. And then this one comes along called, what's it called?
Home Sweet Home Alone.
Even that makes me angry.
It's even got a shit title, yeah. And so I would just like to say, if Jack from the Sequelizers is listening, we found a film I don't like. We have a running joke that I like everything.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
Have you got... Before, because I think we're going to go on to a long tangent of us absolutely slating this film. Can you think of any positives? I've got one.
I mean, the cast are really good.
The cast are really strong.
Ellie Kemper, Rob Delaney, Aisling B. It's got Keenan from Keenan and Kel in it, for goodness sake. It's got Chris Parnell, who is barely in it. It's completely wasted. I mean, it's...
The other guy, the dad, who's barely in it, he's also quite a funny comedian in America.
I didn't even know there was a dad. I didn't... Pete Holmes, isn't it?
No, he's not the dad. He's like the crazy uncle.
Yeah. No, Timothy Simons.
No, that's the other uncle. I'm talking about Andrew Daly, who is the boy's dad. You see him in like 2 scenes, and you would recognise him.
Is that his dad?
Yeah.
I didn't even know who his dad was.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
I thought Aisling B was a single mum for most of the film.
And where did you think Aisling B was from?
Oh, what is that about? Aisling B has a beautiful Irish accent. Why? Why have they made her put on an English accent in this film? Why?
It's bizarre.
You could be Irish and have a kid with an English accent. It happens.
Is that why they didn't want the dad to be in it as much, do you reckon?
Maybe. Is he American then?
Yeah, he's an American.
I don't know. I mean, it's just weird. It's just all plain weird. And don't get me wrong, I love Aisling B. I think she's amazing.
Yeah, she's really good.
She does a bloody good job with that accent, honestly. She does a very, very good English accent. But it doesn't... It just all feels wrong.
Where would you like to start? Because this is truly disappointing and awful.
I would like to start with the whole premise of this movie.
Yeah. It's got holes.
So... it's got Swiss cheese holes. It's full of holes. The whole premise of this movie, and it completely misses the point of what's good about Home Alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's good about Home Alone is a little kid who's in real danger from nasty, scary people that deserve to get hurt, by the way, because they ruin people's Christmases, because they don't just rob them, but they flood their houses when they leave. These are not nice guys. They deserve to get a beating, and you see them get their comeuppance in the film from the most unlikely of sources, an 8-year-old boy. I don't know how old he is, but I'd say about 8. A young child is the one who kicks their asses, and it's funny, slapstick, funny. And this is not, because the people who get beaten up don't deserve it. They are good people. That is not the premise. You can't do this to good people. It's just torture.
If I was in their shoes, I'd be doing exactly the same. I'd be like, oh my God, my house is about to be repossessed. And my only chance is in this house. The other people are away, they reckon. They think she hit the kids with his grandmother.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it makes me angry. I was supporting them, which is not the point.
Well, I think that's the point, isn't it? Is that they're the heroes of this movie, not the kid.
But that's not the magic of Home Alone, is it?
No, not at all. It's a completely different movie that they've slapped Home Alone on to sell.
This is what I was thinking. Do you think they had a script that wasn't a Home Alone film? And then they tried to shoehorn it on when Disney probably bought it?
I certainly think they had bits of scripts for other
Basically,
movies.
it could have just been called Home Sweet Home. And then they've rammed on the Alone at the end.
Yeah, I think they probably had parts of scripts. They probably didn't have a
They probably didn't have the home evasion.
And they've somehow... No, yeah, they probably somehow stuck those bits together to make this movie make sense. Like,
And the boy, who's Max Murphy, who's played by Archie Yates. So good in Jojo Rabbit. Is so unlikable.
I know, right? Like, so wonderful in Jojo Rabbit. So charismatic, and you feel for him.
Natural as well.
And you think he's... Yeah, absolutely, completely natural. And then in this, you're like, what a shit. what a horrible little turd boy.
I would. It's just some really bizarre choices. And that's one of them, having the boy unlikable and having the Rob Delaney and Ellie Kemper, who are really funny and their chemistry's really strong, just being given nothing. Absolutely nothing. Even Aisling Bea... Absolutely nothing. At least in that Home Alone films, the first two, the mum's got something to do. She's trying to make her way back to her son with a struggle. In this, literally, they have Aisling Bea.
Aisling Bea sits next to a bloke on the plane who looks at her screen.
And she just looks at the screen for 8 hours.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it.
Done.
And mobile phones now exist, don't they? And surely she can just call the police.
Could she not... Have they not got any friends? Any family? Anyone? Yeah. The police? Like,
okay, there's the big, it's not really a spoiler because it's in the trailer.
It's in the trailer,
But Buzz McAllister is home security. That's a wasted
Is he
cameo.
home security or is he an actual cop?
No, he's home because it's McAllister security.
Oh, okay.
So he's like I want to say a wannabe cop because that's rude to whoever does that job. But
I've got a feeling that Kevin owns the company and he's working for Kevin.
You never know. That would have been better.
That's the impression I get, is that, Kevin's much more successful.
Well, he would be. Kevin has the brains. Buzz had no brains at all. And that would be like justice from those two films. Did you enjoy his cameo? I
mean, I didn't hate it, but I found it hard to enjoy any of this film, to be honest. Like, I didn't... If his cameo was in a better film, then it would have been fine.
Yeah.
He was reasonably funny, I suppose. Like,
because I watch Home Alone 1 and 2 every Christmas. It's a tradition because they're really good and I find them really watchable. And when Harry in the second one gets hit by the brick, I literally still wet myself. I think it's so good. Those two actors, is it Joe Pesci? Who's the other guy? I've forgotten his name. I'm really sorry. It's Daniel something.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
But I think they're great together. The chemistry's really good together. Great physical comedy.
Amazing physical comedy. The bit where the tarantula's crawling on him.
Oh, so good.
And like it's Marv, isn't it? The tarantula's crawling on Marv, and then Harry's hitting him with the crowbar to try and get the tarantula, but hitting him instead. That's brilliant.
It might be the other way around. It might be Marv hitting Harry.
Is it the other way around, is it?
But yeah. Okay. Would you... So my question to you, Rich, is would you come back to this film? Are you going to make it like a regular... people have their set Christmas films.
No, God, no. I'm never going to watch this film again if I can avoid it.
Yeah.
But then... do I feel like that about all of Dan Blaze's films?
What else has he done?
Maybe. Oh, he does Borat, doesn't he? He's directed Ali G, then Bruno, Borat. He just does shit films. I'm sorry.
It's a weird choice, I have to say.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. He's British. He went to Cambridge. He was in the Footlights.
Of course he was.
So, yeah. But I don't think I've liked any film he's made. Maybe his style is not for me.
The script. Oh,
Yeah.
It was just... I found it, like, just wrong on every level. Nothing worked. Nothing. Normally, me and you are quite positive. We try and find something, because we don't like slagging films off. No one plans to make a bad film, right? This is what we tell ourselves.
And this is why everyone laughs at me, because I always try and find something good to say about a film. I've got nothing good. Genuinely, I can't find anything good. Other than if you gave me this cast to work with, I could make a better movie on 45p and half a Twix.
What a waste
than
of a
you've managed
cast
to do with this. Such a waste.
It should be
such
a crime.
Waste.
I forgot that Chris Parnell was in it as Uncle Stu. He must have.
I know, right? I know.
These two lines.
Talk about waste.
I don't understand. I know we keep coming back to it. I don't understand the decision to make the good guys the bad guys in the end of the day. They didn't deserve to be put through that punishment.
I mean, Rob Delaney's character is the only character that has any sort of growth whatsoever. And that growth is he goes from one type of computing to another type of computing. So before, he was like a data backup dude, and the crowd ruined his life. Yeah, and then he comes back to like being like a cloud person by the end of the film. That's the only growth in this whole movie. The reason that Home Alone is good is because Kevin realises that he does love his family and he does need them around, and that's when he sees his mum, when he sees it's Catherine O'Hara, isn't it?
Yeah.
And when she turns up, he is genuinely happy to see her. Whereas in this movie, you don't get the feeling that Max gives a shit whether his mum's turned up or not. She could have stayed in Tokyo. He'd have been happy staying with Pam and Jeff.
Yeah.
Even the names of the characters are boring. Honestly, what is going on with this movie?
Yeah. Would you have liked to see Home Alone 3 with, I don't know, like Kevin and his kids?
Oh, I mean,
would that have made it better?
Of course.
Him realising he's left his kids alone somewhere.
Macaulay Culkin's too busy being a catwalk model at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah.
So, he's not going to be.
He's just living his best life, old Macaulay now.
Yeah, fair play to him. I think he's deserved it. But yeah, I think my little boy's main complaint was that Macaulay Culkin wasn't in.
Yeah.
He's like, no, this isn't Home Alone. And I was like, it is. It's just different. He's like, no, it's not good.
I mean, he's not wrong.
He's wrong.
And thinking
isn't.
about, did you fast forward at all to the bit when they actually get into the house and there's a few traps?
No, I watched it all. I didn't fast forward.
No, but did you show George the trap?
Oh, no, I didn't, because I don't think he'd care.
Yeah. I don't even remember it.
They're not even that good. They're not the traps. I'm doing air quotes here. Traps that aren't. They're just sadistic rather than funny or clever.
The bit made me laugh a little bit.
Just mean.
Right. This might be what I'm hanging everything onto. Is that one of the traps is about treading on Lego.
Yeah,
and that is true.
I mean, that's true. Treading on Lego hurts, but you can also see it. So once you've stood, what hurts is you step on one small piece of accidental Lego that's been left on its own, and you don't happen to see it. When the whole floor is full of Lego, you could be like, "Oh yeah, I'm not going to stand on that because I'm not insane."
Just move it away. To be honest,
yeah, like anyone with children would understand that. And that's the other thing is that the two people breaking in have kids. They know how kids work. They've got kids.
Jesus Christ.
Ridiculous. The reason that Kevin gets one over on the burglar guys, on the wet bandits, is because they don't get kids. They don't get how kids' minds work because they don't have kids in their life. These two understand kids. They're going to be like, this kid's not doing this because they're vindictive. He's afraid. Why is he afraid? And that's why this movie means nothing.
Most of the pranks, they're face to face with the boy as well. So just,
hey,
you, stop doing this crazy shit.
Yeah.
Let's have a little chat. You can stay there.
I'm sorry, we're not trying to break in. We just want to find the doll that we think you stole.
The reason he's attacking them is awful as well. I don't think, maybe that'd be a bit of a spoiler about that going too much, but how can you spoil this?
The reason he's attacking them is thin at best, like
weak.
Like it's so convoluted. It's just ridiculous. How do we force two characters to say words they would never say in real life? I'm going to spoil it. How can we say this? We're looking for a doll without saying we're looking for a doll? We're just going to call the doll the ugly little boy.
Oh my God.
For the whole way through this. Who would do? No one would do that. No one.
It also was, and I know we like short films. I think this is only an hour and a half.
It felt like 3 hours.
It felt longer, didn't it?
It felt longer. It really did.
It was not an easy watch. Or a pleasurable or fun.
A lot of it was boring as well. That's the thing. Like,
I just really hated the kid, and I really wanted the parents to get their money and get their doll and sort out their life. It's not their fault, you know.
The end of the movie when they all have Christmas together just makes me
poorly
vomit in my slippers.
It makes me sick. And still none of the cast turn up for it, like, or the dad or the. And the uncle's just pointless. He's not that funny. He's a random character.
Yeah, I mean, that's weird. The aunt and uncle...
Which auntie and uncle are you talking about? Are you talking about the one with Rob Delaney's brother?
Rob Delaney's brother, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was talking about the other one.
Oh, right, okay.
The one that just shouts.
Oh, right, yeah. He's pointless too. But yeah, the Rob Delaney's brother, the uncle and aunt that turn up, essentially just to go, oh, we're rich and you're not. I mean, that's the point of them, right?
Yeah. It's bad. It's really... I can't class... Should we try and score it? Unequal sequel, yes, no, is it an unequal?
Very, very unequal. Very unequal. I mean, I don't think Home Alone 2 is my favourite sequel ever, but, oh my God, like, Donald Trump could do a big shit in the middle of it and it would still be better than this.
Yeah. I like Home Alone 2. I think I'm one of those...
I like Home Alone 2, but I don't think it's as good as Home Alone.
You see,
I don't think it's better than the first one, no.
Yeah, we definitely are.
But yeah, unequal, yes, very unequal. This is a lot worse.
A lot worse. This is one of the worst films I've seen in a long... And I watched Red Notice, and I didn't like that. This is worse than Red Notice.
Oh, no, yeah, this is a lot worse than Red Notice. I didn't hate Red Notice. I just felt like I was in 1997. And the twist that I thought, oh, wouldn't it be interesting if this happens? 5 minutes into the film. And lo and behold, it did.
It happens.
Although, the big one thing I will say about Red Notice, we're not talking about a film that I know we're talking about Home Alone. And I've criticised Gal Gadot for having no personality in Wonder Woman. She's good in Red Notice. I liked her.
Oh, good.
I thought she had a lot more charisma in that.
She did. I agree with you.
In other movies.
It's not hard. Right, let's get back on track. Home Alone.
Back on track.
What? Because I don't think we can rant about it anymore. Out of 7, Rich.
I'm a generous half.
I was going to say a generous 1.
It's not normal for me to score lower than you either. A generous half a star is what I would go for. It's
not very Christmassy, to be honest.
No,
it's
not.
Pretty horrible. It's badly written. The biggest crime is that it's a waste of a fantastic cast.
It is a waste of a brilliant cast who I guarantee if you just left them on their own and said just improv this, they'd have come up with some funnier shit than we've actually seen.
Yeah. 100%. Do you think there's something on the floor? There's cut-ins of actually people being funny somewhere of the cast doing things.
I don't know.
Would you watch another Home Alone sequel-ish?
I mean, it would have to be.
They can't do anything with this one. They've left nothing open. And why would you want to spend any more time with any of these people?
No, definitely. There's no sequel to be had from this. Maybe if you say it's Kevin and his family and he leaves the kid behind, and maybe. Do you know what the worst crime of this film is? The worst crime is that they give John Hughes a writing credit.
Really?
Yeah, posthumous writing credit to John Hughes for this movie. Don't tarnish that man's reputation more than he's possibly tarnished it himself.
Yeah, that's say.
We don't speaking of the dead. But yeah, I mean, that's the biggest crime of this movie is accrediting it to John Hughes, because I'm pretty sure he had nothing to do with it.
That's a half from you, and that's a 1 from me. That's our lowest ever score.
Yeah, and it's lucky to get that.
It is. I don't think you'll see much worse. I don't want to watch anything worse than this.
If a 6-year-old thought it was boring, which has got to be the sort of ballpark this movie's aiming at.
Oh, that was my question. Who do you think this is aimed at?
No one.
I agree.
I mean, I would love to meet someone who likes this movie. I genuinely would, because I want to know what I'm missing.
Yeah, it would be nice if someone. So this is lead us off to a lovely way to exit and leave this chat. We want to know your feelings. Rich wants to know if anyone actually enjoys it. We're at Unequal Sequel on Instagram and Twitter. We haven't. If you don't want to put anything out on there, we've got an email address. You can be anonymous at unequalsequel@hotmail.com. Get in contact. We want to know your opinions or views. Are you as angry as me and Rich? Because we really hated this. And I really like Home Alone 1 and 2. I mean, I really like Home Alone 1 and 2. I'm big fans of it. I was angry. Rich, did you have a bit of the selling pitch?
Well, I mean, of course, if you like what you've heard, and I mean, who wouldn't like two grown men ranting at a film about a little boy for half an hour? Then you can subscribe. Subscribe to the podcast from any of your podcasting platforms. Please give us some likes and subscribes and 5 stars and ratings and whatever it is that you can do on your platform. That would be lovely. It helps us on the rankings. We're very nearly in the top 100 of Apple podcasts now. So if
of
you
TV and film in England,
don't tell them that.
Still, I'm very proud.
If you can go onto Apple and give us a rating, we'd be very, very grateful. We really would. But also, it's not just half-hour episodes of me and Dave talking nonsense about movies. We've got special guest episodes. So these are the extras. We're back into Series 2 now.
Yes, we are.
Our first episode on Monday with Nick Helm, which was fantastic, and we just completely loved it. And then next Monday, we've got another brilliant interview episode. And I'd love to tell you about it, but I don't want to spoil it. But
Good lad.
If you do follow us on Twitter, then you'll find out a little bit earlier than everyone else does, because you'll find out on the Sunday. Dave always lets slip who the guest is on Sunday night.
I do, yeah. I like doing that. Yeah, I've got nothing else to say, Rich. So
no,
it's a bye-bye from me. Bye-bye. And it's a bye-bye from him, unless he wants to say something else.
All I would say is, if you haven't seen Home Sweet Home Alone, don't.
Don't bother. It's awful. Even the name's crap.
And on that note, bye!
Have a good week. See you next week. Bye.